Mr. Farrell yields.
Thank you, Denny. I just want to go through a couple of questions for you. On Taste New York, I've always been a little confused by this program. Not quite sure what we're trying to achieve here other than obviously to push New York products, which we all agree with. So right now it's $500,000 provided, which is $1.5 million less than the governor. You're creating a license for the sale of New York State specific products, but it seems like this is going to be for either breweries or wineries from what you said earlier, correct?
Apples, fruits, and vegetables. Yeah, fruit and yeah, farmer stuff.
So, okay, so it would not just authorize farm wineries and breweries to apply for the license?
Whatever the present law is, plus the wine, they're adding that to it.
So if I own a microbrewery in New York and I applied for and got one of these licenses, I could sell my microbrewed product along with fruits, vegetables, cheese, apples, New York products. Is that how that's going to work?
Yeah.
Okay. Could I sell New York wine?
Yes.
You know that violates the liquor laws, right?
You can't do it. Oh, no, we're not putting in the grocery stores, and we're not putting in the highways.
No, I understand. But if I own a microbrew, I can't sell wine, and if I own a liquor store, I can't sell beer. That's the law in New York. How do we go about changing that to just
Take the wine out.
adjust it for microbreweries and for wineries? Because if I own a liquor store, I can't own a beverage mart.
Yeah. No, we do not have wine in there, but you can get the beer. You can get the beer, but you can't get the wine. Because we're not changing anything, and under the present law, you can't do that.
Under present law, you cannot. You can't.
Cannot.
You cannot. Correct. So you're going to roll this out and have a separate location from their microbrew where they want people to go. We're going to have a standalone location that also sells their microbrew and other products. Is that what we're doing here?
Yes, and we are concerned also. That's one of the reasons why we're sort of like cutting it back. We want to see how it's going to work out.
I think I'd eliminate it until we get it figured out, because this is so ill-conceived. I don't know how we're going to roll this thing out.
Well, that's why we chose to cut it back. We
Yep.
surely wanted to get it out of the highway.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense that we'd get it off the highways, although they're still driving on a road wherever they go to get this stuff. So, all right, I've had big questions about it. I just think it's ill-conceived. It's a nice idea, but if I own a microbrew, I want the people coming to my microbrew, not to a stand where I'm going to just sell my own product and have to pay rent on another location. I just think it's ill-conceived. Anyway, the temporary assessment, 18A, on electricity, that's about $2.5 billion for 5 years. That sound about right? At least that's what our numbers look like.
How much? 2.5 every year. Total. $500 million for $205 million. $500 million a year.
Okay.
For 5 years.
Okay, so pretty big hit
Yeah.
to our homeowners and businesses that are trying to recover here and grow. Transformative capital, there's $720 million was eliminated, right? Which I actually agree with that. $720 million eliminated, which was a discretionary pot of funds, pretty big slush fund for the governor. And we've gotten rid of that in your budget, correct?
Yes.
Where's it going?
It goes in when we were asked how we got the money we have, that's where it went.
Okay.
In other words, it made the things we did, the changes we made, that's what we did.
So the governor's proposal was to generate the funds through $500 million in savings due to workers' comp reform and $200 in pay-as-you-go financing. That was the governor's proposal. Does the Assembly proposal address that at all, or is it?
That we put back in. Yeah, we eliminated all that, but we did end up putting 250.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And, well, on Market, New York, we've eliminated $5 million. That's a little bit kind of related to the Taste New York program, in my opinion. So that money's just going away as well. Are you redirecting that money anywhere from the governor's proposal?
Anything that we've taken off, yes, we've done that, but no, we didn't take that one out.
Okay.
We
And-
took that one out too.
And there's
Yes, we took that one out also.
Okay,
We took
thanks.
that out.
Nothing in the assembly budget regarding casinos as far as citing provisions, right?
No, nothing
We
there.
still,
No.
okay. So that's in line with what the governor proposes, I think, correct? No citing provisions?
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't do anything.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Right. Gap elimination adjustment. Big sticking point for all of my schools up here is this gap elimination.
Yeah.
As for everybody in the chamber, they're dealing with this gap elimination. It's a major, major problem. And I don't want to speak for every school, but I think if they had their druthers, they would take that and try to get that as backfilled as they could, as quickly as they could, to get them back to even, if you will, from where they were back in 2009. Yet, which would you view as more important, or do you view them the same? The foundation aid increase, any increase we can get to our schools, I think we're all on board with, to try to get them back to where they were. But what do you think is the more important measure here, to increase the foundation aid or to give more toward the gap elimination?
That's not my pay grade. Don't make decisions. I practice saying yes, sir.
Okay. See, I practice saying no, sir, a lot. Okay, so there's $100 million in there for gap, an increase, which is good. Like to see that. I guess I would press for more of the gap elimination adjustment would be our preference, I think. But teacher evaluation compliance, the APPR, sorry. Right now, there's $240 million in the assembly budget to restore lost aid to New York City for failing to implement.
Yeah, right.
And that's in the courts, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. No resolution on that?
No, no resolution.
No resolution. If the courts rule in the favor of UFT or the unions or the schools down in New York City, we have to provide the aid. That's what we're doing here, right?
Right.
What's to stop all of our upstate schools at that point from saying, forget your APPR, we're not going to comply any longer?
Well, in the end, they will comply. Sooner or later, they will comply. There is a program moving to make sure they comply. But at the same time, I don't think people will do that. We have a couple of people up there that haven't done it also. But in the end, I think we'll come to the understanding for everybody to do it correctly. That's why we're doing it. That argument, we can't afford to have it affect the children, and we're not going to let that happen.
No, we're not going to let it happen, but right now, as it stands, the upstate schools complied, correct, by and large? 99% of upstate? I don't know an upstate school that didn't. There might be a couple.
There are three of them.
Three. How many New York City schools didn't comply?
One.
One school?
One district.
In New York City?
Yeah, one very large district.
Which large district?
No, it's called, no.
The whole thing?
New York is one.
Right.
So
So,
it makes it easy.
so all of our upstate kids are burdened with this APPR. All of our upstate schools are burdened with this APPR, which is not working. It's a complete farce, yet they comply because of the threat of not getting their increased aid. And I remember speaking about it at 2 in the morning when we passed it. So our folks complied. New York City did not, and New York City is not paying any price for that, which, quite honestly, I want to get aid out to all the schools, city and country alike, up and down, from Plattsburgh to Montauk. I want that. But it strikes me as a little bit tough that our upstate schools complied, our downstate schools ignored it, and they're still getting the same aid. So what's the plan? You said there's a plan to force them to comply?
Yeah, well, yes, there will be a program that the governor's put together. They have a certain amount of time to make a decision. If they don't, they'll have a mediator, and the mediator will make the decision. and that will become their program.
So there's binding arbitration in place here
Yeah.
that they'll have
They
to
will fall
comply?
into it, yes.
So if they continue to ignore it, they're just going to get whatever plan
Yeah.
the mediator says?
And they get. So there will be a plan.
Okay. All right. All right. Non-public school aid, 132.6 million.
Yeah.
Not 4 million more than the governor. It says the increase is for comprehensive attendance taking program.
Yeah.
Is the 4 million increase? Is that what? That's the comprehensive attendance taking program. That's the piece of it. Is 4 million bucks.
Yes, that's it.
Can you tell me what is a comprehensive attendance taking program?
Electronic, probably.
I'm sorry?
Probably some sort of electronic.
4 million bucks to count heads?
Yeah. It's a state requirement, and we've been on the funding for many years, and now we're deciding to give them the money because they really have to be able to do a better job of giving their attendance.
Okay.
Controlling it.
All right. All right. I had one other one for you regarding.
My green handkerchief is beginning to wilt. Just in case anybody hasn't figured that out.
It looks good though. I like that color. It's a good-looking handkerchief. For community school grants, this jumped out at me. For community school grants, the Assembly expands allowable services to include mental health services and student safety as a factor in evaluating grant proposals. Administration of the program remains with the Commissioner of Education rather than the Council on Children and Families, and not-for-profits would be eligible to apply in collaboration with the New York City School District. Does it only apply to the New York City School District?
And it's statewide. And it's statewide. Anybody.
I got to tell you, it's got to be corrected then, Denny, because it does not say that at all.
Okay.
It says New York City.
Huh? Well, it took we were working last night till 11 o'clock, so things like that happen. No, I lied. 10:30.
Okay. All right. Because it does say a city of 1 million or more eligible entities shall mean the city school district of the city of New York or not-for-profit organizations, which shall include not-for-profit community-based organizations. So I would it's on page 18 here. I would just highly recommend you take a look at that and fix that problem.
Our intent was statewide.
Statewide. Okay.
We'll correct it if we're wrong.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Denny.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, on the bill.
On the bill, Mr. McLaughlin.
You know, like a lot of these, this is a tough thing with a bill like this where it's kind of a giant mix and melting pot of everything into one bill, so we all have to make a decision up or down. There's plenty in here that I agree with and that I like, but, you know, as usual for probably most of us in the chamber here, there's some things that we don't like, and you know, we can certainly talk to our folks either way, whether we like it or not. I don't like the fact that we are continuing to hammer our businesses and our homeowners with another extension of a utility surcharge. I think we finally need to learn that putting money in people's pockets is going to have them spend that money, and that's really what's going to grow our economy, not continuing to tax them. I also don't like the fact that really there's nothing, again, on anything of substance regarding mandate relief. And for our schools and our municipalities that are really struggling, to not have that conversation about really addressing mandates is a big problem that remains here for us. So for that reason and many others, I'll be voting no. However, there is some stuff in here that I think we all can agree with. Thank you.